Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charla.
I'm Justin.
What's on our table today?
8-Minute Empire Legends.
And the expansion, Lost Lands.
Yeah.
And we have to give a great big thank you to Ryan Laucat and Red Raven Games because this is one of our very first review copies.
Yep.
So we're very excited to be reviewing these games for you today.
Right on.
8-Minute Empire Legends is a game that plays 2 to 4 players, and they recommend ages 13 and up, and it can take you in between 8 and 20 minutes.
There we go.
And when you add in this game, everything stays the same except they add enough components so that you can play it with up to 6 players.
Awesome. Cool.
So I'll just put those up there. You'll be able to see them up in the corner.
There we go. Looking at 8-Minute Empire Legends and Lost Lands, what do you think of the components of all of it?
I think they're actually really great components because these are small box games.
Mm-hmm. So
the boards are heavy-duty cardboard.
Yeah.
And so is even the money.
Mm-hmm.
And these cards are a nice quality. Not linen, but they're thicker cardstock. They're not too flimsy.
Nice.
We've got cubes, which you could upgrade the cubes to little mini meeples if you wanted to, because that would kind of make it a little bit more thematic, seeing the little armies march across the places.
True.
But cubes work just perfectly. And they also have the cutest little cutouts for the castles.
Yeah, the castles are
I
awesome.
love these. They're so cute. So, I mean, if I had to trade, mini meeples for armies or these awesomely cute castles, I think I would have picked the castles too.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the art is gorgeous.
Yes.
Because all of his games have wonderful art.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on.
So the next thing is strategery, which is we lump in strategy, tactics, and luck.
Which is very interesting because the base game and the Lost Lands are almost like kind of 2 separate games in how they play.
A little bit, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if it like changes things up. So first of all, with luck and randomness, there's not a lot of it in the game. Most of the game is in the card play. Mm-hmm. But there's not a ton of randomness because you've got 6 cards out, so you kind of see what's coming. Mm-hmm. That being said, there is some randomness because there's only so many cards that let you put out your armies, only so many cards that let you move them, only so many cards that let you do the different things. So sometimes when a certain style of card is like not coming out when you need it, that can change your game, and so that lends itself to the kind of tactics. Mm-hmm. As does the, oh, you just bought that card I really wanted, everything shuffled down, oh, now I can buy this card cheaper. That kind of tactical play, which is excellent. Yep. For strategy and long-term planning, when you're just using the base game with like none of the expansions, there's not a ton of long-term strategy.
No, you're just going for those areas.
Yeah. Once you get a couple of cards out, especially if you can get a bit of a synergy, it's like, oh, I've just got 2 flyer cards. Now I can jump across to other islands. That becomes your kind of long-term strategy. Right. Yeah.
And some of the cards give you points in the end for certain cards.
Yeah.
So that can give you a bit of a strategy to aim for the end game points as well.
Yeah. But like on your first round, there's not really much of a long-term strategy, which is kind of nice.
Right. See what you're going to be presented with.
Yeah. Now, once you start throwing a whole bunch of the extras in it, so like the citadels that give you bonus points, the leaders that give you specific endgame goals, once you start throwing that stuff, you're going to start the game with a long-term strategy right out the gate. Right. And of course, you're going to be knowing what the other person's long-term strategy is, so you're going to be trying to mess it up. Right.
But you shouldn't mess it up at detriment of your own game, which can happen easily if you watch the playthrough.
Yep. Exactly. Now, the Lost Lands expansion, where suddenly you have your own set of 4 cards, and it's almost kind of like drafting, but sort of not. It's still similar in that it's still very heavy into tactics, but that opening hand is a little bit more random because you've only got 4 choices instead of 6, and they're 4 different choices than the other player.
Right.
And each round you're swapping, so if I buy a card this round that I really want and it's going to work well with another card in that hand, I'm going to have to wait 2 turns to see if I even
you can
get
it back.
Yeah, so it actually lends itself to more tactical gameplay.
And I think I probably like that part of the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because even though the cards are more expensive too, because you've only got 4 to choose from, and they escalate more quickly in cost.
Yeah.
It's that thing where you can look over at your opponent and you're like, oh, I really think he's going to need that card, and I'm just going to take it, and there's nothing he can do about it.
We've always enjoyed kind of a game that has, like, the set of things, and it gets cheaper as it goes down.
Yes, we do enjoy that mechanic a lot. Yeah.
But I also really enjoy drafting, and I think only having the 4 choices, and plus the fact that it's kind of simultaneous play, I think that makes the game move a little bit faster.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I like a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what about the complexity of 8-Minute Empire?
I don't think it's overly complex for the average player. And I say that because for me, area majority games or area control, I don't know why, but I have a real hard time wrapping my mind around this part of it.
Okay.
I'm not very good at that. So I find this part complex for me, but I think that's just me.
Okay.
But all this card play and like being able to choose cards, like in the base game, like you said, they move down and get cheaper. That's awesome. In Lost Lands, you get your hands of cards that you get to choose from. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like it's not overly complex because in Lost Lands you get 4 to choose from. In the base game, you only get 6 to choose from. So you just have to find those synergies between those cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
The synergies and blocking the synergies of your opponents.
Right. I really enjoy that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only thing I find complex for some reason is trying to move my armies around and like block you or take control of the areas. Like it's hard for me, I don't understand why, but it's hard for me to visualize that part of it, even though it's all still...
It's all right there?
Right there, exactly. Yeah. I don't know.
That's funny. I think as soon as you start adding in a lot of the variant extras, the complexity jumps up significantly.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like I'm glad that we normally only play with mostly base and we only throw in a couple of new things each time.
Yeah.
That very first time we played the game, we threw everything in all at once. And that was a little bit much.
Yeah.
Especially when it was my first play.
Yeah. And I think I did that because sometimes you play like the base game and then you keep playing the base game and then suddenly you have to read like a whole extra section of the rule book to get to the next level and you just don't want to.
Yeah.
This one I was just like, let's just play with everything and then we can always scale it back if we want to.
Right.
Which we did. And it worked.
What do you think about the playability?
The playability. It was very interesting because I started reading the rule book and I was immediately a little concerned because I kept picturing Tiny Epic Kingdoms.
Yes.
Which is not our favorite game.
Well, it's the type of game that I have difficulties with.
Yeah. And we're not fans of the, I'm going to win by destroying all of your armies and that's how you win. That's not my favorite type of game.
Yeah.
Then I was a little bit more concerned when I was looking at the 2-player variant rules and we had to put like a 3rd player out on the board because the 2-player variant for Tiny Epic Kingdoms is not good.
Oh.
Whereas for this one, you're not going to, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit, but I mean, even in our last playthrough, I did it once and I think you did it twice.
What, killing armies?
Yeah, and it was just one army. So, I mean, there's not there's very little of that destruction of armies in the game.
Well, yeah, the thing about it is you can only destroy the armies when you get the cards with you can destroy an army on it.
Yeah, and it's always just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even if they're not going to come out a lot, there's not a lot of them in the deck either.
Yeah.
I mean, they could all come out in a row, but
yeah,
it's not every round you're going to be having your armies destroyed.
Right.
Which is nice.
So it's, instead of a in-your-face destroy you and all your opponents, it's more of a tactical, very kind of tricky maneuvering of your people across the board so that when everything is said and done, oh, look at that. I beat you by 1 here, here, and here and took the win.
Right.
Which is much cooler. So enjoy that. We don't know if it scales well because we've only ever played it as a 2-player game.
Yeah.
The 2-player variant does work quite well.
Excellently.
Yeah. because all it does is add some extra cubes for you to not be able to take so many territories with just one army. Just adds that little bit in there, which is good. It makes it a little bit more tense.
Right, because for me, it gives me that little buffer with him not always having to pick on me, and he has someone else to worry about.
Right.
And for him, it's like me bumbling through, like, trying to figure out how to get rid of these other players as well.
Now, even though it seems like most of the game is over on the map, the game is actually in the card play, which I really enjoy. It's all about getting the right synergies with the right points, but you also have to balance that with getting enough bonuses so that all of your actions are better. And at the same time, keep an eye on what kind of cards your opponents get so you can kind of make sure they don't get the good synergies. That's where a lot of the gameplay is.
Well, it's nice because I really enjoy the cards because you've got the thing that you're going to do on your turn, but then you're also going to have like a little thing up here that's going to add to like a little bit of engine building.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't focus too much on one thing or like focus all on endgame scoring or something, like whenever you move or put your armies out, you're always going to be like snowballing it a little bit and get a little bit extra each time.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy, like trying to puzzle that part out of it.
Yeah, it's excellent. I think the Lost Lands would scale a little bit better because it's all simultaneous play.
Right. And then you've got this really big board to fight over.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it scales better with the Lost Lands. Of course, I'm only speculating because we've never played it.
Yes.
But that's what I think. With the 6 cards out in the row and they shuffle down, it's going to be kind of interesting to kind of see a lot of those cards disappear before it's your turn again. And plus the fact that you're taking turns.
Right.
Might make it a little bit longer. The game is super quick, especially for a 2-player game.
And I think it does fall in between the 8 to 20 minute mark.
Yeah. As for the replayability, the different ways that the cards can come out in the shuffle is going to make every game a little bit different. And then, of course, between 8-Minute Empire Legends and the Lost Lands expansion, there are so many little variants that you can try. And it's not at all or nothing. It's not like you have to do the base game or everything. You can just do one little thing. Yeah, and kind of make your own game.
And even there's so many boards, too, and they're double-sided, so you can mix and match those, too.
Yeah.
And then you've got all those leaders, too, that you can mix and match. So.
Yeah. So, a lot of replayability in that. Especially considering it's such a short, quick game.
Exactly.
You get a lot of them in. So, does it have the awesomeness, or does it have the cuteness?
I have to give it equal amounts, because the art is so cute, and the little castles are so awesomely cute. But the card play between all these different special abilities and then mixing in your leaders and their special abilities is awesome.
Yeah.
So I have to give it equal.
Interesting. I thought you were just going to go with awesome because I look at the art and it is awesome.
The art is awesome too, but it's just so pretty. Like, look at her. She's so cute, and she's got her cute little fairy wings and her cute little fairy dress. And I mean, they're okay. Ogres and dire dragons are all right, but I mean, look at that princess lady. She's pretty. Well, she's not cute. She's more awesome, I guess. But
yeah, the undead empress. Not so cute.
But she's still a princess.
She is. So, 8-Minute Empire Legends, are we trading it or are we keeping it?
I want to keep it because, as I already stated, I'm not good at area majority games.
Yeah.
But it's an 8 to 20 minute area majority game.
It's true.
So if I ever want to get better at area majority, I have to play area majority games.
Yeah.
So I think because I like the card play so much, and that, I mean, it's not complicated. For me, it's complicated.
Yeah.
This part of it. So this is the game I want my go-to to be until I actually get good at, like, area majority.
Right. So it's like a trainer.
It's my area majority trainer.
There you go.
That sounds not nice. But I need more practice, and I don't really want to practice at a really long game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the more you invest in a game and then to lose really bad, the more frustrating it can be.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. For me, I enjoy the game quite a bit. I think the card play is what I enjoy the most. And it has a very unique card play. If it was just the base game, if I wanted to get in this like really cool art and gameplay, I'd card play, I'd probably want to go with something like the Ancient World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it was just a base game, I'd be like, let's just trade it. But the Lost Lands expansion with that unique kind of, okay, go, and it's almost real-time drafting, that is unique, and I haven't seen that in any other game.
Yeah.
Playing it that way, yeah, we got to keep
that's my favorite way to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very cool and unique. So we don't have any other games that do that. So, yeah, we're just going to have to keep it.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I think the Ancient World is still my favorite game of the Red Raven. But we've also just got Islebound 2.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to play that one a lot, so that
Up
one's
and coming.
Yeah, that's an up and coming playthrough and review. But
There we go.
the Ancient World might still be my favorite.
Right on. Excellent. So, did we finish it as Sweethearts or Rivals? We finished 8-Minute Empire Legends as Sweethearts.
What? Really? It's obviously a Rivals game. Obviously.
Is it?
It will be for you when I can challenge you better.
There we go. This is true.
I just need more practice.
Yep. More practice, and I can see it definitely getting into a rivalry game with more practice. And that last game that we played definitely got a whole lot more rivalry.
See, I just need more practice.
Yeah. And I thought I was going to lose it. So I thought you were going to take the whole thing there. So, yeah, definitely. Right on. And that's a review of 8-Minute Empire Legends and the Lost Lands expansion.
It is. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you in the next video.
Laters.
Sweetheart.
It's just too easy.